Ooh, it's kind of dark. Okay, I think it's a little better. Let's see if I adjust this light. Better? A little bit? I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. Only hippopotamus will do. Sorry, I just felt like I had to belt out that song to you because I've been singing it all day. But my husband, he's this neat, organized guy before he married me, and then he meets me, and I am more of a collector of things. I tend to hold on to things. I don't throw things away easily or quickly. I'm like, well, what if we use it later? I mean, you might have a use for it later. You never know, right? And so sometimes I drive him a little crazy. And the last few days, he's been a bit more sick from a cold that he's fighting, or maybe he's just all this resentment he's holding on to. Maybe there's something here for him to process. But regardless, he is, I'm driving him a little crazy. And so he's just like, I have to study for my CMA this week. There's a lot of continuing education too. So I just want to give you a heads up. I might be a little grumpy. And I'm fighting a cold. And so usually he's a pretty easygoing guy, kind of. And so I was like, hey, you're a bit grumpier than normal. Is everything okay? And he's just like, I don't like being sick. And so today I decided, okay, you are going to do your best to support your husband, and you are going to declutter that area in the dining area where I think you've seen it before. I have bags of stuff, and I have all my shelvings of things. There's just a lot of stuff, and it just drives me crazy because there's so much stuff there. And I was thinking it's time to declutter, you know, because usually what happens is if I see Austin's flashcards or Ava's things, I'll just stuff them into that box, and then, you know, it's a cubby box, so you throw it in the cubby, and then eventually it gets out of control and the stuff is sticking out, and it's just too much. And now the dining table is covered with Legos, and we're supposed to eat there for our Christmas dinner, which is something we do as a tradition, and then usually we clean it all up before that day, and Everett's feeling the days count down, and he's just frustrated when he loses stuff. He can't find anything because there's stuff everywhere. He doesn't know where anything is, so he's just had his wits in. He's just had enough. But my question to you is, are you like me in that regard, where you will have your things like stashed in a box, or you'll pile? Like my sister's a big piler. She'll pile, you know, just papers and papers and papers, and she knows where everything is, and that's her organization system. Or maybe that's her excuse for not throwing things away. But sometimes I do that too. I'm like, well, if I put it in a neat pile, then at least it looks uncluttered. But did you do the real work? You know, it's such a good theme of life. It's an analogy to our life, of how we live our life, where we don't put those things away. Like I technically should be going through my stuff and then deciding, do you want to keep this? Do you want to donate this? Do you want to throw this away? Instead, I'm like, I'm just going to stuff it in this box, and then I'm going to stack the boxes, and then it looks like it's neat and put away, but in the end, more stuff gets stacked up, it gets more out of control, and there's just stuff everywhere, and it just drives my husband crazy, because he's like, this is not addressing the issue, right? And so my question is to you, are you willing to do the work it takes to get to the root of the issue, the origin of the thing? Are you willing to dig deep? Are you willing to sit with it, be with it, and go into it and see what it is all about, and then clean it up and find the source, find the cause, and then eradicate it, figure out if this is something you would still like in your life or not, and then choose and move on and move forward, instead of having stuff just sit stagnant and stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. It gets buried and buried and buried. You can't find it later. You don't know where anything is. It's becoming a junk pile, it becomes a junk room. It's just ridiculous, right? Like, why do we have junk drawers and junk closets, and our garage is like used to store a whole bunch of junk? Like, it's our way of stashing our issues and our problems aside, instead of just dealing with it at hand, which is, what do you want to do with this? Like, do you want to keep it? Do you want to move on? Do you want to donate it? Do you want to give it away? Like, what's the deal? You know, what is the true issue here? And it makes me think of like how quick we are to just look at the surface. You know, like if you go to a few videos back, I posted a video about the parable of the straight iron, and I was talking about how annoying one of my coworkers was. there's no such thing as an annoying coworker. The only thing was for me to reflect about myself and see why I saw my coworker as annoying, and then sit with it and be with it and really process this and think about it, because it's never about the annoying coworker. Everyone supposedly has annoying coworkers, but what was I annoyed with myself about? What are you annoyed with yourself about? You know? And I realized that my coworker, she has never been annoying. She's a kind-hearted, loving person. What was annoying was that I was annoyed with myself. I didn't like myself. I didn't love myself. I didn't feel like I was worthy of being liked. And so then that is the big, deep concern, right? That's the bigger issue here. And then I could choose, is that something that I would like to live into? Is that something I believe? Is that something I believe anymore? Or would I like to move on from it and start living a different kind of life? Or would I like to be stuck in that realm, that frequency? And the answer is no. I'm a life coach, for crying out loud. It doesn't resonate with me anymore. So dig. Don't be lazy. Don't stash like me. Don't stuff things in a box and pile them up. It just comes back later. You know, it gets buried in your subconsciousness. It surfaces later. It drives your husband crazy. It's not addressing the true deep-rooted issue. It requires some digging. It requires reflection. It requires journaling. It requires processing. It requires you to throw things away. It requires you to create some new things and new creations and how you would like it to go. And it's such a great analogy of life, right? We sweep things under the rug, and then all the stuff starts oozing back out, and we're like sweeping under the rug, and it just oozes back out, when what the thing is to do is to sweep it all up and decide if we want to throw it away or put it in our garden for compost or something. There you have it. That is the parable of the day. Are you a stasher? Are you a piler? Are you a hoarder? Are you willing to dig deep into the true issue at hand? Or are you just holding to all this junk that no longer serves you? As you know, I'm a soul elevated life coach. I am a life coach for a living. This is what I do for a living. And I'm working on my book. And because that is what there is to do when you are a life coach. You are publishing books and sharing your message with people. You're having your coaching sessions with your clients that you meet on a regular basis. And you share your message. You go live every day and share your latest epiphanies and your latest revelations. And I'm always here to serve. I'm always looking for ways to better myself and expand myself so that I can truly be here to truly be my best version of me, to be the top coach out there, the top life coach out there, to truly serve in a uplifting, meaningful, profound, powerful capacity. Here's to you living a soul elevated life. If you're looking to hire a coach, talk to me. It doesn't have to be me. Any coach in your life would be powerful. But once you hire a coach in your life will transform in a massively powerful, uplifting, incredible way. And you will barely recognize yourself, and your coworkers and your family and your friends, your loved ones will all ask, what's going on? I'm seeing a shift here. Did you change your hair? Did you change your makeup? Your skin is glowing. What's going on? It's called hiring a life coach to truly start living a soul elevated life, living a life from your soul's alignment, living a deeply fulfilling, meaningful life, the one that everyone is meant to live. It's just a matter of choosing if that is indeed the life you would like to live or not, or if you're ready and it's time. If you're hearing this message, it's time. So get a life coach in your life, and I will see you tomorrow.